So with OpenFlow, you can ingest data, make data available to Snowflake. Today, we're also introducing a full new rev of Snowpipe streaming. New SDK, access from different clients, stateless transformation, pre-clustering at ingest, very high throughput, up to 10 gigabytes per second. Data is queryable in 5 to 10 seconds from the moment that it got ingested, and this is now in public preview. But you ingest data, you have it in Snowflake, but we also want to help you transform it. And we're incredibly excited to announce today dbt projects in Snowflake. Well, what is this? It's an authoring environment. You can have pipelines from idea all the way to production, and we'll help you build, test, deploy dbt pipelines inside of Snowflake. Of course, there's observability. I saw feedback from our early preview customers. One of them had a bunch of words that I cannot repeat. And for the context, it was a positive context. And this is now in public preview. You will all be able to use it pretty soon. Yeah. But if you caught the news, last week, dbt Labs announced the next generation of dbt, the new dbt Fusion engine. And shout out to Tristan, the dbt Labs team. We've established a partnership and an agreement where the next version of dbt will also come to the dbt projects in Snowflake. And today, we're also introducing workspaces to our user interface to Snowside. Whoa! What are workspaces? Modern development environment. All your editing and data curation happens in this new workspace. Supports worksheets, Streamlit, notebooks. It's file-based. It has folders, source code control integration. And I'll tell you, for the worksheets, it's incredibly fast. It's in public preview now. You all can leverage it. And how about we see it in action? I've been speaking and speaking and speaking. Anyone want to see a demo? Yeah. So let's invite them to the stage. Amanda, Kelly, and Dash Desai are going to show us a demo. Welcome, Amanda and Dash. Oh, Dash is here.
Thank you, Christian. Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda Kelly, Director of Product here at Snowflake, and with me, we have the amazing, the wonderful Dash Desai. Let's give it up for him, our Principal Developer Advocate. Can be taking us through our demos today. All right, so to illustrate some of these real problems in data engineering, let's take a look at how we can simplify data engineering for a global concert and festival company. Now, they have a whole lot of diverse data types, much like you. They've got structured data, like sensitive customer PII, in Postgres inside of VPC. And they've got unstructured data, like phone calls, PDFs, and images inside of SharePoint. Now, this prevents a few challenges already. PII in a VPC demands a highly controlled integration pipeline. That often means a tough trade-off between control and simplicity. The multimodal data adds another layer of complexity. Each one comes with its own structure, its own property, its own pattern. And what we really want is one easy and flexible pipeline that's going to be able to handle it all and make it AI ready. So, in the next couple of minutes, we're going to walk through how we can leverage Snowflake for data engineering in order to build and perform ETL, deploy the pipelines, and activate the data. So, Dash, let's take it over to Snowflake OpenFlow and see how they're going to make it really easy for us. So, we're going to start with OpenFlow from Snowsite. Here, I can see the connector menu already loaded with featured connectors like Postgres and SharePoint. And there are a lot more connectors available out of the box, right? And it's not just about bringing data into Snowflake. We can also set targets to other destinations and persist open data formats, such as Apache Iceberg, to fully facilitate interoperability. And if you need a custom connector, it's easy. You can build your own with Snowflake and Apache NiFi processors. All right, so Dash has already set up some of our connections for us, and we can see them here in OpenFlow. Now notice here that there are 3 runtimes. 2 of them are running in our own VPC in AWS. Now, with this deployment option, we can run integration closer to the source without opening up holes in our firewall and we still get the full power of OpenFlow as a managed service. For our other connections, we can run them even more easily. We can have them inside directly in Snowflake with Snowpark Container Services. All of this integration services is managed by OpenFlow, but can be executed in different deployments. That gives you simplicity and control with no trade-offs. All right, let's dive into this Postgres connector. All right, what we can see here is the initial snapshot. We can see the incremental loads, and we can see change data is being captured continuously. OpenFlow includes built-in data provenance and observability, so every step is tracked and auditable. Super easy for you. Now, we can see that we have the CDC pipeline set to populate two raw tables, events and ticket sales. We can see that the CDC pipeline is already running and it's populating that events table. Let's take a look at it and prove it to you. All right, we're gonna run it, and there we go. It's already populating that table. Let's take a look at the ticket table. Prove us right here. All right, and there you go. It was easy to go straight from pipeline to data. It's worth an applause, I think, for Dash right there. All right, we're not stopping there, though. Okay, now that we have the data loaded, we can transform it using powerful capabilities like Snowpark and dynamic tables. However, building those data models is just the tip of the iceberg, no pun intended. Deploying the data models can be surprisingly challenging with issues like dependency management and data quality. These complexities, as you know, lead to sprawling systems, painful debugging processes. That's why dbt is such a popular open source project. And as Christian said, now you can run dbt projects natively in Snowflake, no extra setup required. Yes, we can get excited about it again. It's okay, it's awesome. All right, so let's take a look at where we have it right here. Now, as Christian mentioned, we have workspaces now, and here we are in a workspace. It's that lightweight development environment for authoring, organizing, and managing all of your code artifacts in Snowflake. And you already saw it. When we did those side-by-side CDC tables, and we saw how quickly they ran and executed, that was in a workspace. Now, here, we're showing, I saw a workspace fan there, I like that, yes, all right. Here, we can create or import dbt projects, and then we're gonna be able to easily edit, test, and deploy them. So Dash has already imported and compiled a dbt project, but starting a new one would be just as easy. We can see the project YAML here, the dbt project file, the data sources, including those two raw tables from the CDC pipeline, the data model, and the logs. It's all there. And in dbt projects, we can also make edits. Yep. We can compare those changes side by side. And when we're ready, we can push it directly to Git. All right, let's hit run right there to get it started, do it live. And while that's running, you might be wondering, where is this dbt project running? Well, typically we'd assign a warehouse, manage it ourselves, but that can get tricky sometimes. And that's where Adaptive Warehouse comes in. With Adaptive Warehouse, Snowflake automatically selects and scales the right size compute resources with intelligent routing. This eliminates complexity and maximizes efficiency for me and the team. My data engineers can focus on the data in pipelines and leave Snowflake to optimize the infrastructure intelligently. Zero ops data engineering. All right, looks like that run completed, and we can see the new files and views that are created directly, right? We can see that in the interactive DAG below. It's good. This was it. This was the big thing. All right. With dbt projects, Snowflake brings the best of breed of open source tools that you already love directly to where your data is, all in one platform. All right, so now that we've ingested and prepared that structured data, what about the unstructured data? Well, let's head back into that SharePoint connector. All right, so we have a bunch of PDFs, but it could be images, audio, videos, and we need to deliver them as a table to our other data teams. Normally, this would require a lot of complex transformations, and I'm probably gonna have to call in a favor to someone in engineering, but not with OpenFlow. With this SharePoint connector, as you can see, we get a solution to not only extract and load, but transform and activate the data. The processors are using Snowflake Cortex LLMs to parse and chunk the PDF, all with just a few clicks. We can also easily customize this integration by choosing different processors. Dash, can we take a look at that populated table inside of Snowsight? All right, there we go. And just like that, really in just a few clicks, we have built an integration from SharePoint directly into Snowflake and landed that PDF in table formats with the change data captured. Yes, we did it. All right, let's wrap up. In just a few minutes, we were able to connect to any data source with any target using Snowflake OpenFlow with the flexibility to customize and extend. We deployed and executed pipelines inside of VBC or in Snowflake Container Services, right? Both of these are managed by Snowflake, balancing control and simplicity. And we bridged that gap from building to production with dbt projects natively inside of Snowflake, making it easy to view, edit, change, modify, manage our pipelines. And we even tackled AI-ready data using Snowflake's OpenFlow's unstructured data connector with AI-enabled parsing and chunking built into the ETL pipeline, all in one unified, managed platform. It's easy, connected, and trusted. With that, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Dash. Back to you, Christian.
Awesome.